What's going on YouTube? Effect Records here. Today I'm bringing you a video of my racing simulator setup. So this is what I do when I'm not working on the garage, and when I got some free time I'll go ahead and load up a race. Now I use iRacing. Right now it's going through an update. That's why I figured I would make this video. But yeah, I'm going to try to go over everything I can. Hopefully it's not too boring or anything like that. But I'm just going to go over kind of what I got, and then if you guys want to get into something like this too, you can get kind of like a ballpark or some kind of idea on where you want to go, because I started with just this little small cockpit thing in a VR headset, and that's like all I had when I started. But then I just, built up to what I have now, and I'm trying to give out prices as well. But after this video I will try to find all of the prices for the most part and leave those down in the description below, so be sure to check those out if you find anything in here that you want to go ahead and get. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. So where do I start first? Probably the cockpit, I guess. That's a DOF Reality P2. They also make the P3 and the P6, as well as the H2, H3, H6, and they have a couple of butt movers as well. So I went with the P2 because you can always upgrade later on, and it's like $1,000 to upgrade, but it's actually the same cost as getting the P2 or the P3. They just cut the cost down, so it's cheaper to get into it, which I like a lot. Now I do want to upgrade to the P3, and then maybe the P6 in the future. I'm not for sure yet, but definitely the P3. So basically what this cockpit has is it has pitch and roll, left and right, and that simulates some G-forces and braking and throttles and stuff like that when I'm going down. So this is a full motion platform on DOF Reality's website. They also sell them on Amazon and some other places as well. But the whole thing moves, so I definitely wanted something like that, like steering wheel and everything. It moves with your body, and it feels, pretty legit. It feels a lot better with VR, but I just got this TV set up, and I'm actually liking it over VR, just because VR, you have something on your face, and I also use my helmet, which I'll get into that in a little bit, of why I use that helmet over anything else. But it's just really nice to have. Now you only get the platform, you don't get the seat or the wheels and pedals and shifter. You just get the platform, and then I bought the seat for around $200 on Amazon, I think it was, and the P2 was about $2,400 after taxes and shipping and stuff like that. I think it was like $300 to ship it. I'm not entirely sure, but I know it's pretty heavy, so it's whatever. So $2,400 for that, $200 for the seat. I got a Fanatec wheels, pedals, and shifter. What I did first, I actually had the Logitech G27 wheel, and that was fine for when I was doing it. It's one of the latest upgrades that I have done. Now with the Logitech G27, G920, and the G29, the worst thing about those is the shifter. The shifter sucks on them. I kept misshifting all the time. I just couldn't feel the gates and stuff like that, and it just sucked. So the first Fanatec item that I did get, I even got, it was the Fanatec Shifter 2.5, I think is what it's called. I even got this before I got the cockpit that you see here. It was on my old cockpit, and I got the shifter because every time there's like a crash, like it was fine at the beginning of the race, but then every time there's a crash and a caution comes out, and then you got to restart, and you're trying to go as fast as you can, trying to upshift and stuff. Well, I kept missing shifts and blown engines and people running into me because I'm not going fast because I kept misshifting. So I had to figure out a better shifter, and this one is amazing compared to the Logitech G27 that I was using. And then next up, I guess we'll go through the cockpit itself. This is a Fanatec wheel, wheelbase and wheel. I do have two wheels. I have this wheel for my NASCAR and dirt racing, like with my stock car and my sprint car and stuff like that. So I use that wheel. I do wish I would have went with the universal hub, just because the universal one has paddle shifters on either side. I didn't think I would need it, but the monster truck type car in iRacing, you shift with paddle shifters, and it can turn into a sequential shifter, but I just don't like using that. I'd rather use the paddle shifters if I was sequential shifting, if I can even say it. So I do wish I would have went with that. It would have been $100 more. This hub was $100, and this was $100, so it was a $200 setup. I think it was like $199. That was around $200 too, I believe. Don't quote me on these prices. I'm just trying to remember the best I can. And then I also got this wheel for IndyCar racing. And I think this was a $300 wheel, I think, if I remember right. I mean, it's a really high quality wheel, and it has paddle shifters on the back. So if I do decide to race monster trucks, I use this wheel. It's not optimal. It doesn't feel good, trying to, drift and stuff with an Indy style wheel, but it is nice. So yeah, so there's that. The wheelbase is a Club Sport wheelbase. I think it's like their in between wheel. So it was around $550. I think it was like $549 on Fanatec's website, I believe is what it was. So this wheelbase is amazing. I love the quick release. Like, that's my favorite thing about Fanatec, is the quick release, so I can interchange wheels, quick and easy. Because with my my G27 that I had, basically it had this kind of wheel but a lot smaller in diameter, and basically that was my IndyCar wheel as well. So I love switching it. Now, I don't do IndyCar a lot because I suck at it, but I still like to try. And once I learn the track, I'll do a race or two. But it's not like my full-time kind of thing. It's mainly NASCAR and sprint cars or street stock that I'm into right now. So there's the wheelbase, and it works really good. It's belt-driven over gears. I do want to get a direct drive wheel sometime, but with that being said, I don't think this Cockpit supports direct drive because it has so much forces up here, and there is a little bit of wobble to it. But I mean, you may be able to. I think they do sell on their website, DOF Reality. They sell a wheel, like an extra wheel support or something like that. I think they do. Don't quote me on that as well. And then the pedals. The pedal set I got is also Fanatec, obviously. So they have, these are inverted. I was gonna do the inverted. The only reason why I didn't is because all three pedals are not inverted. The clutch and the brakes inverted, but the gas pedal's still on the floor. And I was like, I couldn't get over it, so I just went ahead and just got all of them, regular. And it would have been like $200 more. I think these were around $250, is if I'm thinking right, around $250. But yeah, they work great. I love the brake on them because the brake is like your most important pedal when you're getting a pedal set, because the better you brake, the better everything is. With the G27, I didn't get consistent braking at all. I was sloppy. Coming around turns. I always constantly locked up the brakes because I couldn't feel it. So basically, I'd push them in, and then it would automatically just slam on them and lock up brakes, and then I'd crash. So definitely worth the upgrade. Now, moving on, I guess whatever's attached to the cockpit. Now, the seat, I plan on getting a new seat. The reason why is this seat works really good. I've actually had it for around 2 years now, I think, or a year and a half. And the reason why I hate it is this little bump here. It's not smooth. If it was smooth all the way down and wraps around, I would love it a lot better, but that's not how it is. And then this also is like Velcro, and it lifts up, and it's kind of annoying. and it's not the most comfortable just because of this, ledge. But there's no way to get rid of that on this seat. But that's my biggest complaint. But other than that, a seat, that's like a full enclosure kind of seat that holds you in. Definitely on a motion platform, you just feel so much better. I tried putting. I might try again if I can come up with a different system. But I tried putting before racing harnesses in, and it worked okay. But sometimes it would pull on your neck because I bolted them down there. Kind of like if you put it in a real car, it's not. You don't want to use your bolts from your seats because it'll pull on your neck. If you do get into an accident and you don't want that, so that's why I got to have a harness bar so it pulls you into the seat, not down, if that makes sense. But I didn't have anywhere else to mount it, and I thought it'd be cool. I thought it wouldn't be a huge deal, but every time you brake, it would start hurting your shoulders. Definitely on a long race. Next up is the butt kickers, I guess. I have 4 butt kickers, 2 on each side. So what this does is if you get 4, you can run with 1, and that's perfectly fine. But what I did is I got 4, and I also got Sim Vibe from Sim Experience, I think is what the website is. Sim Experience, I'm pretty sure it is. And I got Sim Vibe, and what that does is it runs from my all the noises go through Sim Vibe, and then I have a dedicated sound card in my computer, and then that basically Sim Vibe takes those sounds and makes them more realistic, if that makes sense. Because there's my amps right there for the butt kickers. I got 4, and if you got 1, you can just plug it straight in your sound card, and then without Sim Vibe, technically I could do that with all 4 if I wanted to. And what that'll do is it'll just basically vibrate according to the sound. But what Sim Experience does is you can raise the engine sound, lower the engine sound. The road bumps, you can raise those up, and you have more control over what you feel. And also, the main reason why I got it is because I got it set up so that's my left front, left rear, right rear. So I can kind of feel when my tire is actually off the track or on the track. So I can feel the bumps on that side. So I know I'm a little bit too close to the side, so I'll move a little bit over, and it just gives you a little bit better force feedback. So I definitely recommend butt kickers. Now those are around, I think, $170 a piece, but they usually do a discount of like 10-20% or something like that, because I know I got like $100 off or close to it using the discount, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I think they're around $170 a piece on the butt kickers website. Now let's backtrack before we get totally out of it. But I didn't really tell the differences between the P2 and the H2. Is the P2 is for professional version, and the H2 is for consumer version. They have smaller motors on the H2 and stuff like that. Well, the P2 has bigger motors, and they're stronger and stuff like that. So I just opted to get the P2. But the H2s are way cheaper than the P2. So if that is something you want to get into, but you don't want to spend $2,400, I think you could save like $1,000 or something going with the P2 or the H2, something like that. So that's basically all of the cockpit. I did install these things, but what happened is this is a bar that I made with little end caps, and then a GoPro mount that I got from Amazon that swivels. Well, this held my wind simulators that I have, which they're right down there right now. But I had wind simulators on it from Sim Racing Studios. But with the motion, there's basically a computer fan, and it would sway back and forth, and then they snapped. Well, one snapped, and then when one snapped, I just took the other one off to save the other one from snapping. But what Sim Racing Studio has on their website that I've seen that I want to get is they're like tubes that stretch down, and they're made for motion. So they're basically lightweight tubes that connect the same way. So it'll connect right here, and I can adjust it, kind of like what you'd see inside of an actual car for air conditioning. And they run down to wherever you'd mount the fans, and then it'd blow air straight through. And the reason why I like the fans is because it's so much realistic when I'm IndyCar racing. That's my favorite thing to use it on, because you can feel the turns. Like if you're turning left, the right side of your face feels a lot more wind than the left to simulate the left turn. It's just so great. And then you can feel the acceleration, and it also keeps you cool the entire time, which is also just like an added bonus. But I definitely want to get those. I'm trying to remember the price. I want to say they're around $200 as well. Probably not going to be entirely accurate with everything, but yeah. So that's basically the whole cockpit in a nutshell. Now, what I got for sound is I got two PreSonus, I believe they're 10-inch studio monitors for the rear, with monitor stands on either side. So those are stereo channeled. So when a car is coming to the left, I hear it on the left. When they're coming to the right, hear it on the right. Independent. It's so nice to have those. And then for the front, I got Pro Studio speakers, and then I got the stereo unit right there for the amplifier. So these are also stereo as well. So I can hear it on the left, hear it on the right. Now these are usually cranked up a lot louder than those, because those are supposed to simulate if a car's coming up to my rear and they're passing left or right, I can hear that on those. And this is mainly to simulate the engine sounds and the vibrations from the engine, and all of that stuff is what I use these mainly for. But you can also hear them a lot if they're right or left as well. So it's the same kind of concept, just mainly for engine sound. So I turn those up a little bit louder. And then the TV is a Samsung 75-inch TV, and it actually works really good for like latency issues and stuff like that. There's an error on my update. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll have to figure that out later. But anyway, I had a 55-inch before I got this TV, and I had three of them, three 55-inch TVs, using these monitor stands from Sim Experience as well, I believe. But I have the two side ones too to do a full wraparound. Now, the 55-inch had a decent amount of latency. Like, it wasn't terrible, like it was usable, but you could definitely see a difference. But this TV, since it was bigger, I thought it would have more latency and stuff like that. But actually, it's the entire opposite. Like, it's so close to being like on point, and it's crazy to me. But this is a 75-inch. Now, I do want to get two more of these. I just couldn't afford it at this time. This is my latest thing I think I did, was get this TV. And because I wanted to go from 355s to 175 to eventually 375s, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to cover, the height as well as a full wraparound to try to get the most immersion possible. Now, the main reason why I didn't get two more of these is because of the fact that I couldn't fit it in this room, because I got my workstation right here, and then I got my racing simulator here, and all my vinyl for stickers and stuff right there. So I just couldn't fit three, but it is something that I definitely want to do. And then I also got a webcam here, 4K webcam. It's not connected yet or anything, but it is just chilling, because I do want to do some Twitch streams and video recordings of me racing on this, and put it on YouTube and stuff like that. I just think that'd be kind of cool. Next up will probably be, let's do the helmet. So this helmet is amazing, not just because it's a helmet, but it has Bluetooth. So there's the buttons for Bluetooth on that side, and there's the buttons for that side. So you turn it on, and what I use this helmet for is for the pit crew. So on iRacing, you can change where the spotter comes out of for the speakers. So I make them come out of this dedicated helmet. So the only thing I hear in this helmet is the pit crew. So that basically, they'll tell me if there's a car to my outside, to the inside, if there's a wreck up head or something like that. It'll let me know using this helmet. It was about $400 though on Amazon. There is like cheaper options on Amazon, but I did a lot of reviews of helmets, and this is the one that I chose to get. But there are like $200 options for Bluetooth helmets as well. But I definitely love that I just hear the spotter on this. It does get hotter wearing this, and I can't wear it with the face down since there's I don't got wind simulators yet. It'll fog up for me breathing, so when I do use it, I have to pop this up so that way it doesn't fog up here, and it still would be nice to have the wind simulators to cool me down in that direction. But it is definitely awesome and nice to have. What next? I do use racing gloves, or technically they're motorcycle gloves, but I use the gloves when I'm racing. I got a e-brake right there that I got from Fanatec as well. Their Fanatec Shifter, or not? Why do I keep saying shifter? E-brake. It's their Fanatec e-brake, and it works really good. Right now it's not hooked up. I can't find the cord to it. I think I gotta buy another one. It was like $10 when I was moving some things around, but it does work really good when it is plugged in, and it feels nice. There is a little bit of wobble left and right, but I mean, you're just pulling up, so it should be fine. I like the tension that it feels, and I tried this on Assetto Corsa, and it works pretty good. Because the 3 games that I have is iRacing is what I do when I'm doing it myself, and then I have Project Cars 2 and Assetto Corsa for if I have friends come over or somebody that wants to do it without ruining my safety rating and they want to race like AI or something. I'll just pull one of those games out and let them do that. So yeah. I got audio interface that controls all of my sound system. So this is just like a cheap $50 one, Behringer from Amazon that I picked up. It's nothing too special. What I have is I have a left out and a right out, and then I have a splitter coming out of that side, splitter coming out of that side, and then running them to the speakers that need it in that case. My computer, I think that's the last thing actually. I'm trying not to forget anything, but I think my computer is the last thing that I need to talk about. That's technically part of my setup for right now. It is going on 23 minutes, so I'm trying to get this over as soon as possible. Hopefully I didn't forget prices, because I think I was forgetting some. But anyway, my computer is a custom built computer. The case is around $80. It has an i7 8700K in it, which was around $400. It has an Asus Maximus Hero 10, which I got refurbished, I think, for around $180, I think. It might have been a little bit less than that, but I got it refurbished. It has a 1660 Super in it to run. If I had 3 monitors, it has enough ports for me to go all the way. And it just has, some basic stuff in it, like a basic cooler, but it's double-sided, I guess. 32 gigs of RAM, I believe. That's kind of overkill. You don't need it. The motherboard I like because it has Wi-Fi. So because I don't have internet in here right now, like a cable or anything. So I just run Wi-Fi on it. Now, this one is basically the same setup. It has Asus Maximus Hero X and stuff, and that's why I decided to go with it, because I've used it. I like it. It's my cup of tea, so there's that. I'm trying to think of anything else. Maybe I'll do a video of me using it sometime later in the future, sometime soon maybe. Just let me know what you guys think. And if you have any suggestions too on stuff that I could do, but this is basically to show you guys what I got so far for a racing simulator setup. Maybe give you some guys some ideas. I like everything being black. Everything matches. I think it looks pretty good. And I'm trying to get a new house right now. In October, I think, is when I'm gonna try to actually house search, and I would like to have like a dedicated office where I can fit three TV monitor things in and be good. But yeah, that's basically this video. If you like this video, please comment, rate, and subscribe for more videos, and hopefully I'll have some of me actually using it. So yeah, all right, peace.